Hello and welcome back. This is part two, where I'm sharing what I recently brought through in channel quite unexpectedly when I was actually having a bath. And in my previous episode, I shared that I brought through Three Eye Atlas fully unexpected, and I read the transcript of what I channeled. Now, that was not something I went in with intention to do, but that's what came through me, and it felt really important that I share it beyond my own personal channeling. So that episode is linked below. But in putting that episode out, I also communicated that it was followed by, so first I brought through Three Eye Atlas, and then I was experiencing channeling from Mary Magdalene. And there was a few people that requested this episode. So I'm going to read what I brought through from Mary Magdalene. But again, this was when I was channeling for myself. So this is quite a personal piece I'm going to share here. This was a channeled message I brought through for myself, but it feels that it is really relevant, not just to me. There are others that this message is going to be relevant for. And I knew that if that was the case, I would get requests to share this. And so here I am sharing it. Thanks to your amazing requests. So I haven't really regularly brought through Mary Magdalene. This is quite a new connection for me. But what I will say is the frequency and the energy that I felt when this was coming through me was phenomenal. It just felt so peaceful and it was like home. Um, it was beautiful. So I'm going to read this. It feels really powerful. I read it back earlier and I remembered how powerful it was. I would love to hear how this is received. So bear with me as I read it because it came through when I was in the bath and I was recording it. So I'm reading the transcript, whereas normally I would just channel it direct for you. But that's why I'm reading it. So you've got that awareness. So this is channeling from Mary Magdalene. And she says, "Rise, sister, rise in all your glory. Bring back the ways of the deep feminine, the dark feminine, the truth of the feminine, and embody this. Allow her to rise within you, the original creator, the powerful creator, the power that exists in every woman from the womb space. The fertile void of the womb space is where you are individually and as a collective. Sit and tune into this nothingness. Nothing, the mystery of what comes from here is beautiful. Let go of the requirement to know or need to know and trust in the fertile womb. The ways of the feminine are returning. The feminine is coming into unison with the masculine. And it is this willingness to be held by the masculine as much as it is for the feminine to rise. It is required now to soften. Soften, soften, soften. Let go and trust in the natural timing and the expression of creation itself, which you are, is part of you. It is who you are at a core, and trust in what you cannot see, what is present now in the knowing that creation is in place. There is nothing more powerful than creation itself. You are creation itself. From this place, you understand your worth. We invite you now to remember your worth. I am here to remind you of the feminine sovereign self. I'm here to remind you of the archetype. I'm here to remind you of the archetype that you hold, the empress within, the dark goddess that you have come to express here on earth. You are an initiation of the feminine and embrace it. Let go and trust in creation like you trust your baby to grow inside the womb. You trust now in all of creation to be balanced on a collective level and within your own individual world. The time of hustle, drive, and pushing ends now. This cannot continue. There is no place for it where we are going. There is no place for it in your future. This is an initiation. in letting go and surrender of the deep feminine that you understand and you know how to embody. And this is your invitation now to remember: my love is soft but firm. My love is soft but clear. My love is deep and has no bounds. In love and in light, I step back. So I just think those words are just so powerful. And just to add my own, perspective on this, I have felt, and I mentioned this in my previous video, like so deeply in a void space, probably more than I've ever experienced in my life. And I have had the communication that that is something that we are all expected to be experiencing at this time. And that's totally accurate for where we're at. And, my guys have said as well, we're in a collective moment of this too. We haven't quite birthed the new, and it's coming. It's literally being born now. So I think it's really interesting, this discussion of embracing that darkness, that nothingness, especially around this period of solstice, which is why I felt called to bring this episode right now. And I'm not in my usual spot because I've got the kids at home. So, I felt like it was more important than worrying about that. So, yeah, really embracing that womb space, that darkness, that fertile void, and really remembering as well, which I think was so beautiful, remembering that we know how to do this. It's part of who we are. We are the original creators, especially, you know, yes, we can speak to women because I think this felt like a message for women. This really did. And the way it came through me, because there is so much of this natural this natural birthright of being able to remember how to be the powerful creator that we are. But I think it's relevant whether you're male or female. And I love the discussion here about the balance of coming back into balance of the masculine and the feminine coming together. Because there is, we know that that union needs to come back. There's a role for both in ourselves, in our relationships, in our relationship to the world. So that was really beautiful for me. And I just wanted to call this part out because I'd be really interested to know if anyone else relates or can, yeah, resonate with this. It's the willingness to be held by the masculine as much as it is for the feminine to rise. That's phenomenal. And I went through my own personal initiation on this year, learning to be held, learning to soften into that and allowing it, because I grew up in an environment that pretty much pushed me into being quite heavily in my masculine. And, the careers that I went on to have through my early career definitely added to that. So there's been a lot of unlearning by myself on stepping into my feminine, stepping more into that soft space. But I would add, we think of the feminine as purely soft, and I loved also what she said is my love is soft but firm. And I think that's a really, really interesting point, because love can also be firm. Love can also be clear. There can be boundaries with love. It's also love for yourself and your own self-worth. So there's so much in this. It's absolutely rich with information, and I personally love reading it back because there's so much to take from that. So I would love to know how you've enjoyed this, what you've taken from it. If your own experiences that you have or are having can build on this, I love to hear it. It really helps me as well on my own journey to hear your stories. Yeah, if you want to comment below, I would love that. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this was useful. I really felt called to bring this right now. So, yeah, have an amazing solstice period and really grounding into that, the new, and really allowing ourselves to be in that void period if that's where we are. So, with that said, I'm going to go and do the same. Thank you so much, and see you on the next one.